Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the Walking Dead comics as we predict the future for Dwight, Eugene, and Dr. Harlan Carson on the show during Season 8. With that being said, warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to the most recent episode, 806, along with issues 111 to 123 of the comics, and let's jump right into this. So, as of the end of episode 805, Eugene figured out that Dwight was the one betraying Negan, and we know from the sneak peeks of episode 807 that he confronts him on it. The big question right now is whether or not Eugene will end up cooperating with Dwight, but we should get that answer by the end of next episode. Now, Dwight and Eugene have had quite an interesting past, considering they met by Eugene biting his dick way back in Season 6, but it seems as though they'll have to find some common ground in order to work things out between the two of them. Now, with all that being said, I actually wanted to take a moment in order to explain exactly who the two Carson brothers are, along with how their counterparts are different between the show and the comics. So, let's just start out with the basics. The show and comic book universes both have two doctors who are brothers, both named Dr. Carson, one being Harlan and the other one being Emmett. They both lived at the hilltop until the Saviors came along and started harassing the place. In the comics, only Harlan Carson was actually given a first name, leaving the other brother to simply be referred to as Carson. For simplicity's sake, in this video, I'll be referring to them as Harlan and Emmett, even though Emmett is technically only his official name from the show. In both iterations, Emmett ends up getting taken to the hilltop to be Doctor of the Sanctuary sometime before Rick and gang are ever introduced to Jesus. Now, as you may know, on the show near the end of Season 7, Dwight actually framed Emmett in order to hide the truth about Sherry, causing Negan to punish him and burn him alive. This never happened in the comics, and Emmett actually survived the events of All Out War. Sadly, Emmett does end up dying in both iterations, but he doesn't die in the comics until way after All Out War. Now, in the comics, Eugene does end up getting captured by Negan and taken to the Sanctuary for a similar reason, being the manufacturing of ammunition. So, although both Eugene counterparts are taken by Negan, his stay at the Sanctuary is far more brief in the comics than in the show. So, first off, in the show, Eugene was taken by Negan exactly halfway through Season 7 right after Negan gutted Spencer, which would have been issue 111 of the comics. Now, in the comics, Eugene doesn't get captured until issue 121, 10 issues later, which is All Out War Part 7 of 12. Eugene ends up getting ambushed and taken prisoner at his ammo factory due to Negan and the Saviors stumbling into them as they are retreating from their rebound attack at Alexandria. In the show, we haven't even seen Negan's rebound attack yet, as it happens after he escapes the Sanctuary being surrounded by zombies. Fun fact, I believe the ammo factory will actually be the same place that Eugene found with Abraham way back in Seasons 5 or 6. In the comics, it's just a few blocks away from Alexandria, so Eugene was actually in the middle of working on a fresh batch of ammunition when Negan unexpectedly attacked Alexandria at the end of issue 119. Anyways, Eugene's stay at the Sanctuary is far more unpleasant in the comics, as he is thrown in a cell similar to Daryl during Season 7 of the show. So Eugene first gets captured at the very beginning of issue 121, and the issue also closes out with a short scene of Negan, Dwight, and Dr. Carson visiting Eugene in his cell. And just as a quick side note about the brothers, hopefully this isn't confusing, but in the comics, it's Emmett Carson that sees him with Dwight and Negan, but if we actually see this scene in episode 807 or in the future of Season 8, it'll probably be Harlan because he's the one at the Sanctuary now. Anyways, at the end of issue 121, Negan explains that they took Eugene's most recent batch of ammo and that they know he can make more. He tells Eugene to create them more ammo, and this is mainly why people have been predicting that Eugene would be making Negan ammo in the show ever since he was taken in the middle of Season 7. Now, when Negan demands Eugene to make ammo for him, Eugene denies, and so Negan starts threatening him. He grabs his own balls from outside his pants and he starts taunting Eugene, saying that he'd kill all of his friends one by one. He then threatens ironing Eugene's face, along with even chopping off pieces of him, including his dick. He then tells Eugene that he doesn't want to do all of that, but that it will happen if Eugene doesn't cooperate. After Eugene denies making ammo again, Negan tells Carson and Dwight to come along and leave Eugene with his thoughts along with his dick while he still has it. This causes Dwight and Carson to stare at each other as the issue ends, foreshadowing what happens next. In issue 122, All Out War Part 8-12, Negan jokes about wanting to go bang some of his wives, leaving Dwight and Carson to an awkward goodbye. As Dwight watches Carson walk away, he enters Eugene's cell again and tells Eugene that he is helping Rick and that he's on his side. As a side note, in the comics, Dwight actually killed Abraham instead of Denise by shooting him through the back of the head with a bolt, so Eugene is pretty pissed off at Dwight as he tries telling him that they're on the same side and that they should escape together. In the show, Tara is the one pissed off at Dwight due to Denise dying, and I assume that we may see this since Tara is apparently sneaking into the sanctuary to take out Dwight with Daryl in episode 807, but we'll just have to wait and see. Tara and Denise also never existed in the comics, just saying. Anyways, as Eugene calls out Dwight for best playing both sides, waiting to pick a winner, Dwight starts mouthing off about how much he hates Negan, just trying to prove himself to Eugene. Halfway through doing this, he turns around to find Emmett Carson behind him, realizing that he heard everything. Carson says not to worry though, and that he agrees and that he actually wants to find a way out as well. So, the next day, as Negan is preparing to attack the hilltop with Dwight, Dr. Carson opens the cell door for Eugene, and together they attempt to escape. They end up coming across other sanctuary residents such as Mark, the guy who we saw get his face burned when we were first introduced to the Iron. These people just want out as well, and they agree to not say anything as long as Eugene and Carson bring them with them. In the comics, this actually all happens during the final two battles of All Out War, which probably won't happen until sometime between episodes 808 and 816 of the show. That being said, they can still remix things around quite a bit, just like how they gave Sasha Holly's arc during All Out War and they stuck it into Season 7. The whole situation with Sasha getting captured at the end of Season 7, including the rapey Davy scene, was actually originally during All Out War Parts 3-4 of 12, so they obviously brought it up a lot earlier in the show. They did it before, and it seems like they're going to be doing it again with Eugene, Dwight, and Dr. Carson at the Sanctuary. Now, as I said, since Emmett is already dead in the show, the doctor actually working at the Sanctuary is now Harlan Carson. They took him from the hilltop near the end of Season 7, and this is all completely original to the show. In the comics, Harlan was never the Sanctuary Doctor, but since his brother died off so early in the show, he seems to be replacing Emmett's shoes from the comics. And now, I'm not saying that we'll see them escape in episode 807, but we'll definitely see some build up between these three characters. So, will Harlan Carson overhear Dwight discussing things with Eugene? Will they create a plan to escape once and for all? I could see at the very least Dwight and Eugene working out their issues, along with getting Dr. Carson involved. While looking at Harlan Carson's page on the Walking Dead wiki, I found a note that mentions that he will appear in the next episode, Time for After, which is the name of episode 807. Now, I don't know if this was put out there due to some spoiling Dead fan info or possibly some older news of what actor was filming during what episode, but it just furthers the idea that this setup will begin next episode with Dr. Carson, Eugene, and Dwight. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Leave any predictions or theories down in the comments section below. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead Season 8 content in the near future. And if you'd like to take that extra step in helping support my videos, consider checking out my Patreon where there's a bunch of different rewards. It's not necessary by any means, but it would really help in the long run as some of these videos do take a while, especially the ones involving the comic book. But as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.